count on anytime, any day. And we say this on strong authority because we have the arm of bragging rights, the bragging right arm. And guess who gave it to us? You did. Well, we'll be talking politics, current affairs, quite a number of things been going on. I mean, the handshake, the friendship or friendly handshake between the former governor, the governor, I beg your pardon, the suspended but now reinstated governor of Rivers State. I'm talking about none other but Siminalayi Fubara with Wike, of course, and saying, well, I think we need to call it a truce and make peace deals, peace talk and everything is what's really going on here and now. But then this was also, prior to this, we have seen where the governor of Rivers State had gone to see Daddy, I like to call the president Daddy, to saying, okay, Daddy, I'm here, please show me the way, let me know how things will be going from here on, so, and all of that. We've also seen, the very terrible things that's going on in Benue State. At first, we saw where 8 people were killed, 8 security personnel were killed, right? 2 first, and then they said 8 missing. Only for this morning, very sadly, we woke up to the news of the 8 missing personnel found but unalived, and that's really a sad one. And it has brought about questions that concern having, a friendly roundtable negotiating conversation with bandits, kidnappers, and if you like the word being terrorism, in Nigeria, is pushed within the northern region of Nigeria. Quite a number of us, quite a number of you have said, no, we don't want all of that. But I mean, when we put all of these together, it leads us to some very critical aspects of the conversation. One would be whether or not Mr. President has the political will to indeed add his voice to these matters, to ensuring that in terms of insecurity, we can indeed give a proper thumbs up to Mr. President, who happens to be the overall, the GCFR, right? And when it comes to the economy, well, we've seen some lights here and there, but is it trickling down to the lives of Nigerians? Well, when it comes to industries, the Ajaokuta Steel Company, I saw Dangote coming on the front page of Nigerian newspapers and saying it will never work. And I spoke with High Chief Peter Ame. He said it will never work. Everybody seems to say that Ajaokuta should be a forgotten thing, but millions and billions of Nigerian naira and dollars have been sent into that place, and yet it is not amounting to nothing. Well, I have my guest here. Could it be a matter of 2027? Should we reform INEC indeed? Is this going to help? Is it curbing the presidential powers? Is this what will help Nigeria? Many people have said, oh, Mr. President is too powerful. It will seem to have one of the most powerful presidents in the world and all of that, where power is concentrated, centralized. Maybe when we decentralized it, we would be able to, give some regions the ability to also be held accountable. But we never know. As the conversation today, we're looking around the proposal for curbing presidential powers and reforming the Independent National Electoral Commission. Well, I've got my guest right here in the studio. He's a person of pharmacist, James Shropshire. Right, I hope I pronounced the name correctly. Pharmacist James Shropshire. Right, welcome aboard to the discourse this morning, Farm.
Thank you very much, Udwak.
Oh, I feel so
Happy
good.
to be here.
Right, I feel good to have you here in person. I mean, the last time that I saw you was a picture of you, but now I'm seeing you in person. Definitely. Right here in a studio. Now, he is a UK-based community pharmacist. He's a Pan-Africanist. Well, you are one who has strong roots in Nigerian youth activism and unionism. Now, you did not stop there. You have also become an alumni of the prestigious University of Jos, even though they didn't give me admission when I looked for it. But anyways, and of course, Robert Gordon University, Aberdeen, of the United Kingdom. Welcome aboard to the discourse this morning.
Thank you very much, Uduak, and thank you, listeners.
Right.
Happy to be here.
Right, awesome. Now, we have seen where the deputy or the constitutional review conversations has been ongoing in Nigeria, where the committee of the House of Representatives, led by the Deputy Speaker Benjamin Kalu, has proposed sweeping amendments to the 1999 Constitution. And the aim is to curb the president's power, to reform the Independent National Electoral Commission, and to promote inclusivity in governance. And this is also looking forward to deepening democracy, ensuring accountability in Nigeria's governance structure. And when I talk about accountability, let me reflect your mind to the handover that happened in Rivers State. Right, where Ete Ibaz, retired now, had come out to say, I'm not answerable to any National Assembly. I cannot give account of the over 1 trillion naira that was given to him to conduct local government elections in Rivers State. What it does mean is, the person who put me here is Mr. President. It is that's the only person I'm answerable to. Now, if we put all of these together, what comes to your mind? Is this the way forward? Is it about, curbing the powers of Mr. President? Is he too powerful? Or is it a matter that concerns, looking into the INEC reform as a means of salvaging an elections that has not even happened yet? Certain peoples have already declared who they feel is the winner come 2027.
Well, basically, I think the first thing I would like to say is that I think Nigeria is on the right track.
On the right track,
definitely.
Okay. Awesome.
Because whatever is happening, if you find people talking about it, you are in the right place. Okay. We're not fighting about it. We're talking about it and trying to find solutions to it.
Right.
Which is where we should be. In other places, stuff like that could probably just lead to very serious conflicts.
Right.
But that is why we have institutions like the National Assembly, which is doing its own job. With regards to the reforms that they are trying to bring forth, again, it's a welcome development. But we just have to look at the details of what they're trying to do to see how relevant are they in the current situation that we find ourselves as a country.
Okay.
I mean, the permanent thing in life is change.
Exactly.
But meaningful change is what we need. Not just any kind of change. Meaningful change that can lead us to progress, not retrogression. So we have to look at what they are proposing and how does it move us forward as a people. So I think it's a welcome development.
Okay.
With regards to copying the powers of the president, I think it's kind of up in the air. For me. Why? Because we are running a presidential system of government.
Okay.
And in anywhere you find yourself, in a presidential system of government, the president is always very powerful.
He stands supreme.
Supreme, very powerful. He exercises the executive aspect of the power. As you know, power is divided into 3 kinds of power. And for the sake of accountability, as you said, it's Montesquieu says absolute power corrupts and absolute power corrupts absolutely. As a result, he proposed devolution of power, and he divided power into 3. You have executive power, legislative power, and judicial power. In a presidential system of government, one person exercises executive power. And I know the history of Nigeria. We didn't start like this, right?
No.
We had a unitary system of government and we had a parliamentary system of government until the Civil War. And then we decided to go and study American system to bring it in to constitute what we have today.
Democracy.
A federal.
Federal system.
Republic.
A
federal republic. Which is run by a presidential system of government that creates the presidency, which is the most powerful seat you can ever have. So if they want to cut the powers of the president, I believe that they must have a reason for thinking that it should be cut.
Well, my concern will be, even though we have the president, reigning supreme, there has also been these other powers that have been devolved rather, right? Like the judiciary and the legislative. Now, these were meant to also be pari passu, checks and balances to the excessive powers. But are they really, indeed, are they doing their jobs in checking, the president's power? Because when we begin to talk matters of we want to make a proposal, constitutional review, it's already there.
It's there.
The system is there.
It's there.
Is it functional? That's the question.
It's functional to a certain level, and then it's dysfunctional in some areas.
Okay.
Because it is, look, every politics is local. If you go to America, they have their own problems with that same system that we're trying to run here. For instance, look at President Trump.
Yeah.
He has issued thousands of executive orders. He is the highest number of these orders issued by any president in the history of America.
Wow.
Right? That's a problem. He is an activist president. He's pushing the boundaries. He's pushing the boundaries of the legislature. He's pushing the boundaries of
the judiciary.
The judiciary as well. You know that he has refused to obey Supreme Court orders.
Exactly.
All right. So you see, so that has created a new phenomenon for that system in America. And I am telling you for sure, they are not thinking about exactly what Nigeria is thinking about here. How do we curb this new phenomenon of our system? So democracy is always an experiment until we get to the perfection. And so we are here in Nigeria. We have these issues probably. I'm not sure. I know that one of the things they're mentioning about curbing the power of the president is, for instance, his proclamation of the National Assembly. Because the Constitution gives him the power to proclaim the National Assembly, meaning without his proclamation, which is a written official document, the National Assembly cannot commence its duties. So, like, this is the 10th Assembly, isn't it?
Exactly.
Now, the next election after the next election, there will be the 11th Assembly. They cannot start their legislative duties without the proclamation from the president.
But does the National Assembly not also have the powers to maybe upturn, such?
And that is what they're trying to do right now.
Okay. Well,
so in the proposal,
yeah,
they want to remove that power of proclamation from the presidency,
okay,
and invest it in the clerk of the house.
Okay, yeah.
So without the president, they don't need the president now to proclaim the house.
Exactly.
So the clerk, who is an internal person, will just proclaim the house. The problem with that, with the proclamation from presidency, is when you have the legislator that has the majority of the opposition party. It's not the president's party.
Right,
well,
right.
He's going to do. Say, well, you can't sit until he gives me what I want. Until he appoint people that are going to be amenable to me. So stuff like that. So other than that, I don't see how the powers of proclamation will have any real impact.
Right. Well, one of the things they're also looking at would be from the place of electoral reforms, ensuring elected members with valid certificates of return from INEC are sworn in immediately and conducting all elections on the same day to reduce cost and streamline the process. I know there's been talks around this, the same system of INEC, but do you see light at the end of the tunnel? Do you think it's something that we should adopt? I mean, conducting all of the elections on the same day.
Again, I think, well, basically, I would agree with that.
Right.
Because it will do a couple of things.
Maybe cut cost, is that it?
Definitely. It will cut costs, logistics and everything else. You don't need to repeat the same process at the same time. In fact, you can actually, even the printing of the ballots can be done all on one.
Okay. So it's not like different, just one. Okay, I get that.
Yeah.
I get that.
You can have a column president, you pick it, but it might, if you're going to have the electronic voting system.
Yeah.
But if it is going to be a physical voting system, definitely you have to separate the ballots for each position.
Right.
But it will make it much easier because both on the part of INEC, which organizes the elections, and on the part of the politicians who are running and the parties, they don't have to repeat their efforts each time an election is running. They call one meeting for the same election, dispatch their people to everywhere same day, everything done, dusted, and you go back home.
Result a call
Yeah, it will
out.
cut a lot of cost for everyone.
So you're throwing your weight behind this.
I think it will be a good thing. I
Right.
do understand why they've staggered it that way, but I think that also brings in corruption of the elections.
In what way?
Yeah, because usually, so come to think of it, we usually start with the presidential and the National Assembly before you do the gubernatorial afterwards, in the House of Assemblies. Now the people at the top are holding you, your jugular. If you don't work for me to win my election, yours is coming behind, and I will make sure you don't win. That's a kind of threat. This is the situation.
So
I do believe that putting it at the same time would do a lot of good for the system.
right. Okay. Now they're also looking at, in the place of inclusivity, creating 108 additional National Assembly seats reserved for women, with 1 additional senator per state, and the FCT, and 2 additional House members per state, and the FCT. I know there's also been this talk about women inclusivity and governance and all of that, but others, some political observers have quickly come to say that you're talking about including women inclusivity, and yet there's a Natasha case that is right there, and she is a woman. And is this how we will be welcomed, when we indeed are included within the system? I mean, with this framework, what are your thoughts? Are you also aligning with that?
Right. It's
A bit dicey.
neither here is quite dicey for me.
Okay.
But I don't want to come across wrongly.
Yeah.
I call myself a feminist. I'm a feminist because I believe in women's rights.
Okay.
I strongly believe the women are one of the greatest assets that any society can have.
Right.
Especially African women and Nigerian women, very industrious people. Without women, I can for sure tell you that's what my belief is. Without women in our country, we will not be where we are. We need the women in our societies.
Okay.
I can give you several examples why we need them.
Right.
Without women, we can't have a functional society. And our women, I give it to them. They are industrious and hardworking. I am a feminist. I do believe that we need to create more opportunities for our women. We need to encourage them to move forward into areas that they are not there. So, yes, this is kind of a good thing towards achieving the inclusivity for women.
Right.
But it comes with a couple of little issues. There are certain things, if you don't do them, you may mean well, but it may turn out to be something else if you not put in place the right guardrails. For instance, if you just say, by fiat, women without working for it can just go to the National Assembly. They take it for granted. The sense of what do you call it?
Is it belonging, or is it belonging now?
Not on the sense of belonging. There's entitlement.
Entitlement. Okay. The feeling of entitlement.
And they don't work for it. And so I would like to see a situation whereby we encourage them in other ways, to come in and work for it, and so that they can value what they're holding. You remember there was the situation in America where they have what we call affirmative action.
Yeah.
That was in order to increase the inclusivity of the marginalized minorities in America, which is the black people and the brown people in America. Then it was needed at a particular point in time.
Okay.
But it has almost exhausted its usefulness at this time, because you see people living in an environment of victimhood, never making any effort to leave and lift themselves up out of that place, always expecting other people to pave the way. We don't want that to be the situation. So I do believe that there are other things we could do for our women to encourage them.
Right.
For instance, instead of saying exclusive seats created just for women, why don't we say any woman that wants to run for office can receive a grant for primaries and receive a grant for a secondary election if she wins the primaries?
Okay.
That will encourage women to come, because one of the biggest setbacks for people participating is the money involved.
True.
So if you want to, or even that one, you have to create grants. People have to be qualified for what they are looking for. People have to show some seriousness. So they have to receive endorsements from parties and stakeholders before they can now know that, okay, this woman is serious about running.
Right.
And she gets help for her phone, for instance. A grant from the government to encourage women to buy the phones and participate.
But when you say grant from the government, you know, to encourage, others will want to negate your stance, you know, in this. Others would have preferred that, you know, from whence she cometh from. I'm talking about community now. What about having the community people be the ones to select the person they feel is, in terms of credential, in terms of
the point of that is they will end up selecting a man.
Oh, I see. Okay, I get that now. Well, yes, we're still having
trying to
yeah
include women.
Women, exactly. Right. Well, we're still having a conversation, and yes, our guest is none other but Farmer James Shrapshaka, and he is indeed a UK-based pharmacist, Pan-Africanist, and he's got strong roots in Nigerian youth activism and unionism. And yes, the conversation is centered around and about the proposal to curb presidential powers and to reform the Independent National Electoral Commission. Now, it would also amaze you to know that matters that concern constitutional amendments and all of that, it has not started now. It has started even from the time of independence in 1960, right, where Nigeria has undergone several constitutional reviews and amendments, you know, since then. I mean, the 1999 Constitution in particular has been amended severally and to address various issues, one of such including electoral reforms. I mean, since 1999 we're still talking about it, but then I guess the government and governance is a continuum, right? And power sharing has also been one of such. Matters that concern resource control has also been another. Recall that in June of 2024, a group of lawmakers proposed constitutional amendments for presidential term limits and geographical rotation. That was in 2024. Now, according to Senator Baral Jibrin, the Deputy President of the Senate, the public hearing will consider over 20 bills seeking to overhaul the country's judiciary, including timelines for judgment delivery and expanded jurisdiction for, you know, election tribunals. Now, many a time we have seen where efforts, whether from the EFCC, from Nigerians, from government parastatals, ministries, departments, and agencies, and all whistleblowers, have come to naught in that the lack of trust between the people and government or governments is growing by the day. It's a widening gap. And in view of this,